What up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Get in here, get in here, get in here, y'all. Get in here, get in here, get in here. Listen, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, I'm excited about this morning. This is one of my favorite Psalms today. So I'm ready to get into it. Listen, good morning. Can y'all hear me? I'm trying something new today. I'm mic'd up. I'm trying my mic. So let me know if you can hear me. I pray that you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some hearts. Give me some likes. Give me something so I know that you can hear me. I know what I'm going to do. So as you all come on in, tap, tap, heart, love. Share out with your followers. Let me test this out. Let me test it out. Check, check, check. Okay. Yes. Okay. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me. So, anyway, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 30 Days of Praise. We are on day 17, Psalm 16. It is day 17, but it is Psalm 16. And Psalm 16 is one of my favorite Psalms. It's one of my favorites. So, as you all come on in, tap, tap, heart, love, please make sure you share out with your followers. Please make sure you share out with your followers. This is going to be a good one. And I want to encourage you to mark Psalm 16 in your Bibles. Put a little asterisk or a highlighted or whatever. Do all the things. Get you a highlighter. I keep things like that around me. Got my highlighters and my Bible and all my stuff. So keep some highlighters around so you can highlight stuff. Amen. So let's get into it. We are in Psalm 16, and this is David again, Psalm of David. It's only 11 verses. I think I can read some of it. I'm going to skip around a little bit just for the sake of time. So let's get into it. If you are watching replay, put replay in the chat. For those that are watching live stream, tap, tap, heart, love, and share out with your followers. Tap, tap, heart, love, and share out with your followers. And it reads, "Keep me safe, my God, for in you I take refuge. I say to the Lord, you are my Lord. Apart from me, I have no good thing. I say of the holy people who are in the land, they are the noble ones in whom is all my delight. Those who run," verse 4, "those who run after other gods will suffer more and more. I will not pour out libations of blood to such gods or take up their name on my lips." This is David speaking. "Lord, you alone are my portion and my cup. You make my lot secure. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a delightful inheritance. I will praise the Lord who counsels me. Even at night my heart instructs me. I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand I will not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad and my tongue rejoices. My body also rests secure, because you will not abandon me to the realm of the dead, nor will you let your faithful one see decay. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand." Okay, so that's Psalm 16. Now we might spend 2 days on this one, because I don't believe I can cover Psalm 16 in depth in the next 25 minutes. So we're just planning on this going to be another 2-dayer. So Psalm 16, David is addressing a big issue, and this is actually a major issue with God throughout the text, right? We see this issue coming up more and more repeatedly in the text from Genesis to Revelations, and that is God's people seeking other gods. The people of God seeking other gods, making alliance and allegiance to other gods. Now, we all know that one of the 10 Commandments is, "Thou shalt have no other God before me." And one of God's consistent indictments against humanity from Genesis to Revelations is that with all that God created, with all that God gave us, something in our humanity still continues to seek other gods. This was the challenge with from Adam and Eve, is that they were seeking to know something outside of trusting the Lord our God. And I'm not challenging them. I'm not saying that, I'm not making them look bad, because I'm as guilty as anybody else of making something or someone outside of the Lord our God a God, right? And so the issue that David lifts up is what he sees is the people or others in the community seeking, serving, worshiping other gods. And so David does the opposite, and he worships the Lord. He goes into an intense worship following verse 4, because he's addressing what he's seeing, and that is those who are worshiping other gods. He says, keep me, in verse 1, keep me safe, my God, for in you I take refuge. I'm taking refuge in you, God. You are my Lord. Apart from you, I have nothing good. I say of the holy people who are in the land, they are the noble ones, in whom is all my delight. He's acknowledging the noble ones. He says, but those who run after other gods, this is where it shifts. No, verse 16, Anna. This is where it shifts. He says, those who run after other gods will suffer more and more. I will not pour out libations of blood on such gods or take up their names on my lips. So what's happening is David is recognizing that there is a worship going on, not a one time, but like he's recognizing that there's a split, there's a shift, there's a tear in the community, and there are the noble ones who are seeking after the Lord, and there are those who are worshiping other gods. And what David says is, I am not. When he writes this psalm, he is acknowledging his alliance and his allegiance with the Lord our God. He said, because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing those who honor you, and I am seeing those who worship other gods. And so today's devotional is don't chase other gods. Lowercase g. David says there are those who run after other gods, and his word to them is that they will suffer more and more. And listen, let me say this, let me drop this. Part of why we see the suffering that we see in this world, please take notes on this. Psalm 16 is prophetic as it relates to even what we see today. Part of why we see the mass suffering of humanity today is because somebody is chasing after another god, right? And so we see leadership, national leadership, country leaders of countries chasing after the god of world power, the god of mammon, money. We see people chasing the god of ego and who can be number one, right? Who can be the greatest amongst all nations, right? That's Donald Trump's whole entire platform, to make America great, to be the greatest amongst the world. These are all forms of gods, not the persons, but what they're chasing. World domination is a god. Power over other countries is a god. Controlling other nations is a god. And we see this chase happening. And because the chase of these other gods is happening, people are suffering more and more, to include the innocent, right? Because there's always, what's going on? There's a little piece of hair right here is about to wear me out. There's always casualties. There's always casualties. And so verse 4, David says, those who run after other gods will suffer more and more. And it's important that you and I understand how prophetic Psalm 16:4 is to what we are seeing today, because part of why there is so much suffering right now, suffering from the political realm, the economic realm, the relational realm, suffering in health systems, suffering in nations upon nations upon nations, where millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people are dying daily, suffering with as it relates to the impact of climate, of what's the climate, environmental injustice, is because somebody somewhere is seeking another God, lowercase God, the God of power, the God of money, the God of world domination, the God of control, the God of, of more, right? Like there are people, like there are billionaires and you still want to make more money. The God called a board, the board, what do you call that? Stakeholders, right? Corporations have made stakeholders their God, and so to serve the God of their stakeholder, we gotta cipher off more and more and more from the little man at the bottom making $12 an hour. These are all forms of gods, and because there is this mass chasing after these other gods, people are suffering more and more. And what David says is, I will not pour out libations of blood to such gods or take up their names on my lips. I am not participating in your sacrificial ceremonies. I am not pouring, because libations is when you pour out in honor of. But he doesn't say libation and using water or wine. He said libations of blood. He said, I am not participating in the blood sacrifice, because people's blood were being sacrificed, not only on altars where people being sacrificed, but when there's this mass suffering. And how you hear people say, so and so has blood on their hands because of their works, because of their what I like to now call works of iniquity, right? Because of this, there's blood on the hands of a Netanyahu. There's blood on the hands of a Donald Trump. There's blood on the hands of the leaders of Congo and Sudan, who are allowing, because they're chased for power and money and greed. These are all gods. People are suffering more and more. And what David says is, I'm not participating. I will not pour out libations of blood. I'm not participating in the sacrifice, the sacrament, this kind of sacrifice and sacrament. I'm not pouring out libation, and I will not take up their names on my lips. I'm not speaking it. David said, I'm not even getting in, and I'm not going to repeat the names of these other gods. And they have names. We've seen some. Baal, Belial, all these names. Moloch. These are names of gods that blood sacrifice were made to in biblical times, right? David says, I'm not engaging. And for you and I, we have to make sure, and I'm gonna just say this, and I'm not suggesting anyone's doing it. We have to make sure. And so while it is David is speaking to this and we see it playing out in real world, the reality is all of us have to make sure we're not chasing other gods. We have to also make sure that we're not chasing after other gods. The issue that David lifts up is right there in verse 4. Those who run after other gods. That there is a chasing. I want it. I want it so bad. I gotta have it. I gotta have the money. I gotta have the power. I gotta have the popularity. I gotta have the fame. I gotta have the this. I gotta have the that. And people are chasing after it. And even God's people, can be guilty of chasing after other gods. And so the title of today's devotional is Quit Chasing Other Gods. Now listen, I'm not suggesting anyone on this live or watching the live stream is chasing after other gods. I am presenting the word, but you know if you're chasing other gods. You know what you are in pursuit of. And so part of what we have to self-check is, am I chasing after any other gods? Am I pursuing something outside of the God, our Lord, our God, Jehovah Almighty? Are there any other gods I'm chasing? We're chasing. And I'm not saying you are. I'm lifting up the issue that David is lifting up, is that when he reflected on the time, there were those that were chasing after other gods. Woe be unto us that God will find us chasing after other gods. Got to be careful that we're not chasing after other gods. We got to be careful that we're not making other people little gods that we are chasing behind and chasing after. We got to make sure that there is nothing about life that we are chasing and wanting so bad that we will sacrifice. That we will sacrifice for it, but not living sacrificially before the Lord our God. And listen, people make sacrifices every day to other gods. People make sacrifices every day to other gods. Whether that's the sacrificing of their families to chase after fame or fortune, whether it's the sacrificing of their mental health to chase after popularity, whether it's the sacrificing of their physical health to chase after, a person. I want this person so bad, I'm willing to hurt myself to have them. These things are happening all around us every day. Every day, people out here sacrificing whole entire family members so that they can have access to this or to that. And those of us that live in LA, we hear it all the time about, to make it in Hollywood, you got to sacrifice somebody. Now, I don't know how true it is. I'm not in Hollywood circle. I'm just talking about what the word on the street is, and my belief is if everybody says the same thing, it must be true, or there must be some truth to it, because everybody says the same thing about Hollywood, that you don't do Hollywood, you can't do Hollywood good. Not that you can't do it at all, but you don't get to be super famous and rich and wealthy and you ain't sacrificed. There's a sacrifice of chasing after other gods. And sometimes we have sacrificed and don't know it. Sometimes we have sacrificed our homes and don't know it, and then are asking and wondering why everything is falling apart all the time. Because you was chasing after that other God over there, whatever that other God is. And to chase after other gods, listen, put this in the chat. To chase after other gods requires a sacrifice. And so David says they were chasing after other gods. He said, but I'm not participating in the libations of the blood. I'm not participating in the blood sacrifice. I'm not pouring out the blood. I'm not pouring out blood on behalf of other gods. And the blood is from those that were sacrificed. I'm not doing it. David said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And so he breaks, he says, no, I don't want no parts of it. I'm not engaging it. And this gives you and I direction. This is direction for you and I, because when we are presented, and we're always presented with the opportunity to chase after another God. We're always presented with it. Sometimes it's apparent when we are walking and living with discernment, and sometimes it sneaks up on us and you don't even realize it until sometimes you're in it and you're like, "Ooh, I got to get out of this. I got to get out of this." Right? And so David says, I don't want no parts. And part of our stance is I don't want no parts of it. Nope. No, I don't want no parts of it, Lord. I don't want no parts of it. Like even you and I know you're thinking, well, no one's ever asked me to chase another guy. Listen. No one's going to say to you, come chase this other God with me. No other little God is going to say, come and chase me, because that's too practical. That's too apparent. Of course you wouldn't do it if it's that apparent. It's not, it's the thing that you find yourself obsessed with, but by the time you realize you're obsessed with it, you're 6 weeks in. You're 7 weeks in. You're a year in. And now you're wondering why you can't get out. and you can't let go. And then you look up and you sacrifice your children, and you sacrifice your job, and you sacrifice your mind and your body. Listen, listen, I know people. I know people, and I know y'all know them too. Different people, but we all know different people that they still ain't recovered from some stuff that they got into. Still ain't recovered. Because they had to have it, to have that other God, they had to sacrifice their mind. To have that other God, they had to sacrifice their heart. To have that other God, they had to sacrifice their body. And they ain't never recovered. We've seen it. You see it. You know people like this. They just not using the word, this was their God. This is called their career path. Their passion. The thing that they like, or the person they like. It's called this toxic relationship. This abusive situation. It's called what I want. It's called me doing me. Yeah, we got different names, so we don't call it God. But there's a name for it. And sometimes they have literal names. You know, John, James, Julian, Jennifer, Jacob. Sometimes they have literal names. You know, Tony, Tasha, Tiffany. Sometimes they have yeah. Sometimes they have their genres, right? Their fields of interest. You know, getting into this career path. If I can get here, then I can have that. If I can do this, I can have that. And all the while sacrificing. And David says, I'm not playing around with y'all's other gods. I'm not doing it. And I'm not about to pour out libations. I'm not about to pour out libations. You know how they do back in the day. Some of y'all from the hood, we take that 40, this is for the dead homie. Right, that's libations. But then there are all the other forms of libations. You see that in some of our services where they pour out libations and you say the names of ancestors, right? But this libation that David is speaking of is the libation of blood. And the blood is not blood of purity. It's the blood of those who were sacrificed. Who had to be sacrificed? Who would have to be sacrificed for you to have your carnal desire fulfilled? Who would have to be sacrificed for you to pursue another God? What's getting sacrificed? Who would have to be sacrificed? I'm rolling with David. And so the warning for us, David invites us to pay attention to this warning, to not chase other gods. And when we find ourselves caught up chasing another God, we got to stop the chase. When you find yourself running after anything other than the Lord our God, and I'm not saying don't pursue a career path. We're not suggesting don't pursue the dreams and visions that God gives us. That's purpose. That's purpose pursuit. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you're chasing the worship of something or someone. You're chasing the worship of it. You're chasing the power, chasing the money, chasing the fame, chasing this, chasing the attention. Listen, you can be chasing the attention of a person, and that can become your God. The attention that you want so bad that you're willing to sacrifice yourself just to have attention. Y'all have seen those Instagram channels and social media pages where people are doing dumb things, hurting themselves literally. There have been entire seasons and series of reality TV. I can't think of the one, but there was one reality show where it was like a bunch of young guys, and they would do really way out stunts, falling off of falling off of buildings, jumping onto wood, allowing someone to smack them in the butt with spikes on the end of paddles, all kind of stuff, all in the name of having a top show and getting likes and getting deals, but at the same time literally sacrificing their bodies. One show they'd have a broken foot or a broken wrist. I can't think of the name of the show, but y'all know what I'm talking about. But we see people do it on social media all day, sacrificing their whole self, the whole families for likes, for clicks and likes. We see it all the time on social media. People willing to hurt themselves. There was a movie, what was the name of the movie? I can't think of the name of the movie. It was a movie I saw not too long ago. I can't help it with reality TV. I'm not good at either, Stacey. I just have seen the like you see the previews and commercials and different things, but I can't think of the name of the show. But if somebody looks it up, you'll find it. But it's but we see them with these things also on YouTube and different things where people are out there. That's it. Thank you, Bridget. Jackass. Thank you, Bridget. I knew somebody would know the name or could find it. These guys would hurt their whole entire bodies for what? For money? Chasing after other gods. And so the invitation for you and I is to make sure that we're not, it was called Jackass. Thank you. Y'all know the show I'm talking about. Okay. And for anyone that's never watched it, you could probably find some old clips on YouTube if you've never watched it. But it's the chase after other gods, right? And so the invitation that David gives you and I is the invitation to make sure that we're not guilty of that. And again, no little God is going to say, come and chase me, Stacy. Come and chase me, Yvette. Come and chase me, Reverend Jew. Come and chase me, Tyrone. Come and chase me, Jason. No, God is going to say that. No. It's subtle. It's appealing. It's appeasing. And then it presents to you an opportunity. And then the opportunity turns into stroking what we like, the pleasure principle, right? Our pleasure plugs. We all got pleasure points. And it touches upon the pleasure point. And so with the TV show Jackass, the pleasure point was the money and the popularity, because these guys were very popular, right? And they made a lot of money, but at what cost? At what cost? How much blood was in their libation cup, right? And so the warning, the invitation for you and I is like to be really clear. I'm not going to chase after no other God. And when you find yourself chasing after anything, anyone. Now again, there's a difference between pursuing purpose and chasing after other gods, because the pursuit of purpose is that God gives me a vision, a dream, or idea, and then I am being obedient to what God has shown me, and I'm pursuing that. That pursuit is backed by God. That purpose pursuit God supports. That purpose pursuit God lines up with his favor and his grace, right? And then there is the chasing after other gods. That's the thing my flesh wants. That's the thing that's going to stroke my carnal stuff. That's the thing that's going to feed, right? Feed my internal demons. That's how you know the difference. One is backed by God, and one causes me to turn from God. I ain't got time for you right now, God. I got to get this shmoney. I ain't got time for you right now, God. I got to get these likes up. I ain't got time for you right now, God. I got to get these clicks. I ain't got time for you right now, God. I got to get this man. I ain't got time for you right now, God. I got to get these girls. I ain't got time for you right now, God. I got to get famous. I ain't got time for you right now, God. I got to get these deals and these contracts. See the difference? How much blood is in your libation cup? And this pursuit of other gods leads to a sacrifice. And David said, I'm not participating in the pouring out libations of blood, because in order to chase after these other gods, it required sacrifice. It required something having to go on the altar. Somebody's baby had to go on the altar. Somebody's relationship had to go on the altar. When people who are sometimes in relationships and married, and you have someone in the marriage or the relationship and they're chasing after their lustful desire, it ain't even about the other it ain't even about the people they're chasing. It ain't about the girls or the guys. It's about the lust, and the lust is the other god. And what ends up being in their libation cup is the family that got tore up, is the family that got sacrificed. So in the libation cup, there's a sacrifice. I know someone who their god was a drug, and their sacrifice was their child. Like, they literally sold their baby to a pimp for money for their drugs. Oh, these things happen. These things happen. And so in that libation cup is the blood of their child, the baby that they sold to the pimp for some drugs. And if you've ever seen a drug deal, whatever the drug dealer gives you, it don't last long. And if you're a fiend, you gonna smoke it up. It's gonna be gone in a short period of time. But many of children have been sacrificed, have been the sacrifice of their parent. And I'm not judging no one, because that's a sickness. That's a demonic possession. That's a sickness. But in that libation cup is the blood of their child. So sometimes we're chasing after other gods. And so David says, I'm not participating in that. And part of what we have to be very clear about, especially in 2025, where everything's available. Everything is available. You got to be really clear. Put these in the chat. We got to get really clear, really discerning, really conscious to not get up and chasing after another God. We have to know ourselves. Put these in the chat. We got to get really clear, conscious, and discerning. That's number one. Number two, I got to know myself. You got to know yourself. You got to know yourself, and to know when that part of yourself starting to chase. What am I chasing after? Is this purpose pursuit, or am I chasing after something that's taking me from God? You got to know yourself. You got to know yourself to know when that thing is rising up, or if you're being tempted in that way. You got to know what you like. You got to know what has the power to pull you away. Say, come on this way. You got to know what has the power to pull you away. So when it shows up, you be like, I don't want no parts of that. I don't want no parts of it. I can have it, but I don't want it. Because it's going to require me to sacrifice too much. I can have it, but I don't want it. You got to know yourself. You got to know what has the power to pull you away and have you chasing it. You got to know that about yourself. Listen, put that in the chat. Pray. And if you don't know yourself that well, pray about it. You got to pray about it. Because there are people right now that don't even know that they're chasing after another God. They just know, I like it like that. So they chase it. Be really clear not to get up. Come on. Listen, the Bible tells us, I believe it's in the book of James, that we are not drawn away. We are not drawn away by something external. We are drawn away by something internal. We are drawn away by what's inside of us. That's a whole nother lesson for another day. Y'all not ready for that lesson. But we're drawn away by what's inside of us. So when I'm chasing other gods, I'm chasing based upon what's inside of me, not what's inside of Reverend Jalita. I'm chasing what's inside of me, not what's inside of Tyrone. You hear me? Y'all, I need y'all to hear me. And enough of y'all, I need about 7 more of y'all to share this out, because one of your family members or cousins needs this today, so they can get up and get out of that, so they can get out of it. You got to know yourself, so you know what has the potential to have you chasing it. And it ain't the same thing for everybody. Money ain't everybody's problem. Some people are not even moved by money, but the right person touching you in the right way will have you running like a stalker. Yeah. And you know that you are chasing after other gods when it takes you away from the Lord your God worship. And it requires, what's the other signifier? It requires a sacrifice. It requires a bill. It's a debt. That's why the wages of sin it's a debt to be paid. You got to know yourself. I need about 7 more of y'all to share this out, because your cousins need this. You don't think they need it, but your cousins need this. Somebody that you know, that you love and you know right now needs this information, so they can get free and get up out of there. So we're going to stop right there. So what David does in the balance of the song is that he makes very clear his allegiance with the Lord our God. He makes his allegiance with God in the following verses. Because I'm not chasing these other gods. I'm not getting caught up in the pouring of libations of blood. I'm not even going to say the names. I'm not going to even say the names of these other gods. I'm not going to be caught calling on these names. You will not get me to call upon these names. I'm not calling upon the names of the rocks. I'm not doing it. I'm not calling on your other gods. I'm not even saying their names. David said, I'm not even going to dump those names. I'm not even putting them on my lips. You preaching today. Thank you, Yvette. This is real stuff. And Yvette, this is so powerful, because there are so many people, even in church, even in the church, who are chasing other gods and don't recognize it. Listen, you could be chasing the God of negativity, where everything comes out of your mouth is negative. Like a God could be whatever you make it. It's whatever you worship. It's whatever consumes you. And so you can come to church every Sunday. You can be in church every Sunday. You can be on this live, but steadily. I'm going to do the live because it's convenient, but what I'm chasing every day when I'm off the live stream. So you got to ask yourself, what am I chasing? And I need about 7 more of y'all to share this out, or put some names in the chat. Yeah. What am I chasing? And again, chasing and pursuing purpose are 2 different things. Let me review it for those that are just coming on. When I am pursuing godly purpose, that is backed by God. God is supporting that. I have God's favor. I have God's grace. I have God's strength. I have direction. I have guidance, right? There is an alignment that happens when I am pursuing purpose. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but there's an alignment that happens when I am pursuing purpose, right? And when I am pursuing God's purpose, I'm not being taken away from God. I'm actually drawing closer and closer to God as I'm pursuing purpose. Chasing after other gods looks like running towards something else, but from God. So now my priority is not worship. My priority is not prayer. My priority is not the word. My priority is not healing. My priority is not devotion. My priority is the thing I'm chasing. And it has a name on it. It has identity. It looks like something. It looks like it. And then when I'm chasing after other gods, check this out. Point number 2. How do you know if you're chasing another God? Point number 2. Number 1, it takes you from God. It takes you from this God. It pulls you away. If it starts pulling you away, you know, it sounds like this. You ain't got to go to church every Sunday. Skip a Sunday. You ain't got to go to prayer meeting every week. Come pray with me. Y'all know how people do. you ain't gotta go to the conference again. That's how you know it's another God, right? Because it wants you to come away from your worship, away from your commitment, away from your consistency, right? So number one, how you know if you chase another God is pulling you away from worship of the Lord your God. Number two, you know you're chasing another God when it's feeding your pleasure points, when it's feeding your carnality, when it's feeding your the dark side of you, when it's feeding your unforgiveness and feeding your bitterness and feeding your lust and feeding your greed and it's feeding it. It's not starving it. When I'm chasing after what God is me, I'm starving it. But when I'm chasing after other gods, it's literally feeding. It's feeding your insecurity. It's feeding your low self-esteem. It's feeding your self-hatred. It's feeding that darkness. Right? That's point number two. Number one, it takes away from God. Number two, it feeds the dark side. It feeds that the pleasure point. It feeds your ego. To now you are an obnoxious narcissist and can't nobody deal with you. Can't nobody deal with you because you are obnoxious narcissist. But that God that you're chasing is feeding it. Feeding your carnality. Absolutely. Point number three, it's asking for a blood sacrifice. Who you gotta sacrifice to have it? What you gotta sacrifice? What's it asking of you? Your children? Your home? Your mind? Oh, it's asking for something. Oh, it's asking for something. If you don't believe me, ask Diddy. Ask Diddy. The people that made it out, listen, everybody ain't lying. There's a sacrifice. What's the sacrifice? Whenever you're chasing another God, it's asking for a sacrifice. And if you study the gods of the Bible outside of the Lord our God, Moloch and all these other gods, there was always a sacrifice of babies and children and people. What you think how you think the blood got in the cup that he's talking about in verse 4? The cup of the libation of blood, that blood came from someone. So it's asking for a blood sacrifice. Somebody giving up some blood. When you chasing after other gods, somebody giving up. Somebody got some. You got to pay. I remember watching a TV show. I think I shared it with you all. It was a dragon show. I like dragons, TV shows. And this one princess is sold off to a family. Unbeknownst to her and her family in the beginning, the family that she is married off into or given to be married owes a debt to a dragon. Right? And every year or whatever season it is, the husband or the prince has to marry a new bride, and the bride is sacrificed to the dragon. And that's the way the family is able to maintain power. So what God were they chasing? They were chasing the God of power. And in order to maintain their power as a family in control, they had to feed the God of the dragon. And the only thing that the dragon wanted was a fresh new virgin princess. And so every few years, the prince would get a new princess. They would have the wedding, and on the wedding night, when she thought she was about to consummate her marriage, she was taken up to the mountain and dropped in the dungeon, the dragon's lair, right? So in this particular show, the young girl doesn't know she has just married into or been given to a family because her family needed money. Yeah, what I said, they're chasing power and money become gods, right? So her family needed money. This other family needed power. The chasing after these other gods led to this young, innocent virgin girl being given to this family, and she thinks she's about to have her prince. And she does have him for 24 hours. They had the big old wedding. And on the night of their wedding, they march her up this hill. She thinking she's in a processional. She thinking she's in a post-wedding processional. I promise you, I got to figure out what the TV show is. She's thinking, this is Netflix. I promise you it's on Netflix. She's thinking she's in a processional, like a post-wedding processional, and they're going up to this mountain, and she's like, "Where are we going?" And I'm paraphrasing. And the guy was like, "Girl, we just taking a walk with the family. It's just custom, wedding custom. We're gonna go, check this out." And they get to the top of the mountain, and she is a dragon princess. That's it. Thank you, Stacy. And they get to the top of the mountain, and there's a hole, and the guy says, look in there. And she's like, "Oh, what's in there?" He says, look. And she says, "Oh, what's in there?" And she looks over, and she's pushed in. Child, they pushed the girl in the dragon's lair. She gets to the bottom of the dragon's lair, tumbles down, boom, and she looks around. And this is the best line in the whole movie. It's the best line in the whole movie. Because when she gets to the bottom of the dragon's lair, she sees all these other crowns of other princesses. And she says this, "I'm the sacrifice. I'm the sacrifice." I told y'all, when you're chasing after other gods, somebody has to be sacrificed. So, point number 3, how do you know you're chasing another God? Because it's asking for a sacrifice. Now, listen, these other gods are not going to say to you, "I need you to sacrifice something." No, that's not how that goes. Because you're going to say no. It's the slow bid for your mind. It's the slow bid for your heart. It's the slow bid for your body. It's the slow bid for access to your children. It's the slow bid for access to your house. It's the slow, day by day, chip by chip. It's the chipping away of your mind, mental health. It's the chipping away of your emotional stability. It's the chipping away of the safety and security of the home that you build. It's the chipping away. It don't happen instantly. It's the Emmy Award performance. Listen, when that girl did that, "I'm the sacrifice. I'm the sacrifice." Baby, that was the best line. I kept rewinding back to that line. I did that for about 2 days. I just want to see that line. What's the sacrifice? So the third way that you know you are chasing after another God is that it begins to ask for a sacrifice. It's a slow bid for you. Come on. It's the warming of the water. Come on, Bridget, y'all know. And here's the problem. When you're chasing another God and you chasing, it is not until you depleted. Blood been sucked out of you. Energy been sucked after you. Kids been sucked out of you. Everything's been sucked out of you. Now you can't chase no more. And you just left for dead. That's what chasing after other gods look like. Because chasing after another God will leave you for dead. Because the whole point is to suck the blood out of you. Suck it all out of you. Suck the lifeblood right out of you. Right out of your home. Right out of your mind. You ain't got nothing left. You ain't got nothing left. Step by step, inch by inch. That's the seduction of it, because it feels really fun. It feels really invigorating and life-changing, and look at me, until you ain't got nothing left. Then you're depleted. And we've seen this. Sadly, we've seen this. We've seen this in our families. We've seen this in people. We've seen this. We've seen individuals, men and women, chase after another God that they put in a person. They made somebody their God. And then 5 years, 7 years, 20 years later, they ain't got nothing left. I mean nothing. They ain't got their mind. Nothing left. And they've sacrificed everything along the way. They've sacrificed their kids. They've sacrificed relationships. They've sacrificed everything. And the only thing left is a libation cup with what they gave up. that the dragons are pouring out on their altar, and then it condemns you. That's the worst part, Bridget. Because then that demon looks back at you and say, ha 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 ha. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? You took everything. What's wrong with you? Exactly. Then it condemns you. So that's how you know you're chasing after other gods. Number one, it pulls you away from God. Number two, and this is all slow and steady. This is why you got to be conscious and clear and discerning, and you got to know yourself to know when the pull, when the temptation to chase after another God is there, because the enemy knows what you like to run after. The enemy knows what you like to run after, right? It's not gonna have you chasing something you don't like. I will never chase you down for a Brussels sprout. I'll never chase you down for a Brussels sprout. I eat them, but I don't like them. I'll never chase you down for a Brussels sprout, but I might chase you down for some ice cream. That's the difference, right? And they'll have it sacrifice your reputation. Come on, we see that all the time. Sadly, we see that in the church all the time. We listen, what you just put there, Jalita. Our dear brother Shannon Sharp, his God was what? Probably lust, maybe power, domination over people that are younger than him. Could be a combination of things, right? Chasing pedophilia could be his God. We don't know. I don't know. I don't know his situation, but he was chasing after something. And what did he have to sacrifice? His career, his reputation, deals, everything he worked so hard to establish. I'm sure his family will still love him, but it's kind of hard to face respect. You don't lose some respect from some people. And I'm sure he's already feeling that. And I'm not shaming Janice Sharp or others. We just see these things happening to people, right? But that other God was like, I know what you like, Shannon. I know what you like, Shannon. Meet me at the gym. Family, come on. Come on. Diddy's lawyer said all Diddy really wants right now is his family. And I'm not shaming these people. I'm just saying we see this stuff in real time. So 3 ways you know you are chasing after another God. Number 1, it pulls you away from the Lord your God. Number 2, it requires it. Number 2, it pulls you away. Number 1, I'm sorry. Number 2, what did we say? Number 2, I'm losing my train of thought because we were so oh, Jesus, what did we say number 2 was? I'm losing my train of thought. What did we say number 2 was? It feeds whatever's inside of you. That's what it is. It feeds whatever is inside of you. It's feeding the carnal side of you, right? It's feeding that, right? And then number 3, it requires a sacrifice. It requires a sacrifice. You will start giving up something that your mind, come on. And those are sacrifices that you can't get back. Your mind, your emotions. We've seen this in people. They never make it back. Right? So I'm going to stop there. I know we went long this morning. I hope this was helpful for someone. We're in Psalm, for anyone just joining us, anyone watching the replay, we are in Psalm 16, verse 4. Now tomorrow, Monday, we're going to conclude with the shift that David makes in how he makes his clear allegiance to the Lord our God. Giving back your time. Come on. You can't give back time. You give away time to chasing after a God that will all and this is the fourth point to chasing after other gods. This is the fourth one. This is the bonus point. Thank you for putting that in the chat, Bev. Thank you. I almost forgot to say this is the bonus point. This is the bonus. Somebody put in the chat. This is the bonus point, and I need y'all to share this out. This is the bonus point. When you know you're chasing after another God, it will always disappoint you. Chasing after other gods will always disappoint you. You will be gravely disappointed. You will not be fulfilled. It disappoints, which is why you got to keep chasing it. You got to keep, it's like a person who's constantly looking for the first high. What gets people into addiction with drugs is that they're constantly chasing the first high. That's the God. It's the first high, not the 10th high. It's the first high. And they're constantly chasing that high. They're constantly chasing that high because that becomes the God, right? That high. I want that feeling again. I want that euphoria again. And you're constantly chasing it. And that's what leads to the drug addiction. It's the constant chasing of that initial high. And the problem is that every other high after that is a slow disappointment. And so the fourth point, this is the bonus point. When you're chasing after other gods, they will always disappoint. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and read up on all of those people, all of Jezebel, Asaph and Jezebel, and all their leaders that they brought together, and they called on their other gods, and their other gods did not show up. They were disappointed. Chasing after other gods will always lead to disappointment. That's how you know. It's the fourth point to knowing if you're chasing after another God. It will always disappoint. Unlike the Lord our God, who will always answer, always come through, always make a way after another way. Okay? Beth, we definitely have to download this one because I think this is going to be helpful. Is that so people understand what it looks like when you're chasing after other gods? There's a way to know. There's a pattern to look for. And sometimes you'll see it in yourself, and sometimes you'll see it in other people. And David says in verse 4, and those who are chasing after other gods, I'm not participating in pouring out the blood of libation, the libation of blood. And I'm not even going to call the name of those. I'm not even going to put, I'm not even going to put the names on my mouth. All right? So I hope y'all took good notes. If you missed any of this, if you're watching the replay, go back. If you came in at the end, go back and watch the whole part, because we break down this morning how to know when you're chasing after other gods, lowercase g. And then on Monday, we're going to pick up with verse 5 through 11 and look at the shift that David makes, and how he makes his alliance and allegiance with the Lord our God, and what that meant for him. All right? I hope this helps. So Beth, what we're going to do, I want us to download this one, but I want us to we can kind of bookend it a little bit and just make it its own lesson. How to know if you're chasing after other gods. The 4 keys to know when you're chasing. Number 1, 4 keys to knowing if you're chasing after another God. Number 1, it pulls you away from your God, the Lord our God. Number 2, it feeds your carnality. It feeds the part of you. I want Elohim. Come on, Shalita. Number 3, it requires a sacrifice, and one that you're not actually wanting to pay, but you got to pay up. And number 4, this is the bonus, is it always disappoints. Chasing after other gods will always disappoint. And let me say this about, I'm going to say this last little piece, then we're going to wrap it up, because I do have to get out of here. About chasing after other gods. A lot of times, thank you for the devotional. I hope it helps. I hope, put it in your notes. Yeah, things to do, documentation. Yes. Thank you, Beth. Beth is helping us build our YouTube library, y'all. So if you hear me talking to her about videos, she's helping us build our YouTube library, and it's going quite well. But I want to just say this about chasing after other gods. Again, this is subtle work. Right? This is not, so part of what we have to always do is ask God, like, am I getting caught up? Like, show me, Lord, if I'm getting caught up. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to pray that. I just want to just like, it's okay to pray, like, God, show me if I'm getting caught up, and if I'm getting obsessed with something. It's okay to pray that. Ask God to show it to you, and He will. Ask the Lord to show it to you, and the Lord will show it to you. It's subtle work, yeah. Because you would say no if a little guy said, chase after me, you'd say, no, I ain't got time for that. Mm-mm. It convinces you to make time. It convinces you. It's convincing. It's convincing. Yeah. All right. So that's why you got to know yourself. You got to know yourself so much that you can look at it and be like, I can't fool with you. Nah, you'll have me out here in like a crackhead in the middle of the street. You got to know yourself so well that you look at you when you see it, whether it's a person or a process or an activity, you got to know yourself so well to be like, child, I can't go to that party. Look at that. Look what's on that flyer, baby. That party will have me on video somewhere. I'll be viral on the video. You got to know yourself so well that you got to be like, no, I can't talk to that. No. Got the reflective pause. You got to know yourself so well that you can tell it, no, I know who you are. I've said it to people like, I know what you about. No, I'm not. I've worked too hard. I've had to come through too much to get to where I am today, baby. I'm not trying to backtrack 20 years. No. I've been there, done that. And I can see on your face, you are a fast ticket backwards. No, sir. No, ma'am. You got to just know. You got to just know, like, because you a fast track ticket back 20 years. Listen, ain't nothing more powerful than knowing yourself. I know we spend a lot of time knowing other people, but you got to know yourself. The world will have you butt naked and confused. Come on, running down the street. Talk about, hey! In the middle of the street doing this. Thinking backwards. You got to know it. You got to know it. You got to know it. You got to know it so well you can smell it. You got to know it so well you can. No, smells like a fast ticket to hell. Smells like a mind confusion. Smells like major heartbreak and disappointment. You got to know. You got to know yourself so well. You be like, no, smells like a mental breakdown. You smell like a mental breakdown. And you don't have to live guarded. I'm not suggesting living guarded, but I am suggesting to be on guard, because that's what the Bible says. Guard your heart and your mind. All right. Now we in here. We an hour in now, y'all. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to get off and let y'all be free. I hope this was helpful for someone. I hope